The sound of laughter echoed through the restaurant just as the waiter placed the bill on the table, and that's when my wife said the words that shattered me in front of everyone. "Don't worry," she smiled, looking at another man. "He'll pay." That's all he's good for. In that moment, I realized I hadn't lost my job. I have lost my dignity. Before I tell you how that night ended and why she begged me weeks later, hit like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from, because this story might sound extreme, but it's happening more often than people admit. My name is Ryan. For 8 years, I was the provider. Not rich, not famous, just reliable. In America, that used to mean something. I paid the rent, the car note, the vacations, her boutique fitness memberships, her self-care weekends. She called me her backbone. I didn't know backbones were meant to be stepped on. When the tech company I worked for downsized, I lost my position overnight. No mourning, no mercy. Just a calendar invite and a security escort. I came home early, holding a box of desk junk and hope. I told her we'd be okay. I said it confidently because I believed marriage meant teamwork. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She laughed. "So what?" she said, scrolling her phone. "You'll figure it out. Just don't expect me to downgrade my life." From that day on, everything changed. She stopped asking how my job search was going. She started asking when the money would come back. When I cooked, she ordered takeout. When I stayed home applying for jobs, she went out. When I tried to talk, she rolled her eyes and said, "You're not the man I married." 2 weeks later, she insisted we go out to feel normal. A fancy restaurant, her choice. Halfway through dinner, I noticed she was texting nonstop, smiling, leaning away from me. Then he arrived. A tall man in a tailored jacket walked over like he owned the place. She stood up and hugged him. Didn't introduce us, just said, "This is Jason. He's successful." That's when the waiter came with the bill. And that's when she humiliated me, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "Ryan's got it," she laughed. "Even without a job, that's his role, right?" My face burned. Jason smirked. I looked at the bill. It was more than my weekly unemployment check. Something inside me snapped not loudly, but cleanly. I stood up, placed my card on the table, and said calmly, "No, tonight you pay." The table went silent. She stared at me like I'd spoken another language. "What?" I said, "You pay." "Or he does. I'm done being your wallet." I walked out before she could respond. That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was heartbroken, but because for the first time, I felt awake. I stopped begging for jobs that didn't want me. I called an old friend. Took a short-term contract, then another. Then one turned into a permanent role better than my last. Meanwhile, her life cracked. Jason wasn't interested once he realized she expected him to fund her lifestyle. The credit cards maxed out. The rent came due. The silence in the apartment grew loud. 3 months later, she showed up at my door. No makeup, no confidence, just fear. "I made a mistake," she said. I didn't mean it. I looked at her, the woman who mocked me at my lowest, and felt nothing. "You didn't lose respect because I lost my job," I said quietly. "You lost me because you showed who you really were." She cried, begged, promised change. I closed the door. Here's the truth nobody likes to say. Some people don't love you, they love the life you provide. And the moment the money pauses, the mask falls. If this story hit close to home, comment "Stay strong" and tell us where you're watching from. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find yourself.